So on Oregon, it's going to be definitely a challenge for Penta to reestablish some amount of dominance. We're going to have EG starting on defense, Penta on attack. Oregon, one of our most played maps in Rainbow Six competitive. Going to be a big deciding factor here for this series. If Evil Geniuses win this, they have not won out. They will not be the second-time world champions yet. They're going to have to win yet another map. It's the best of 5.
Some of Penta Sports as well are going to need to wake up. They got needlessly aggressive and started peeking angles, and it was EG there able to capitalize. I think as much as we say that EG is an underdog heading in here, the skill level between the two is so narrow that you have to respect your opponents enough to not try and get cute with your peaks. There were so many times that they tried to peek NVK, they tried to peek BC, and they just got totally punished for it.
Very early on, NVK going to get the dresser in the main hallway, giving some extra playability to that corner. We have a Mira on this top floor defense, not an essential operator surely, but very useful should the push come from the white stairs especially. Now the lineup from Penta is pretty standard. They haven't gone out of their way here like they did on Clubhouse to do something new and flamboyant. I gotta appreciate that, going back to what works.
There is no rotate nor Miro window at the top of white stairs looking inside of generator, which is something that we've seen a lot of teams use, especially a rotate hole. It allows you to control both sides at the top, but that's not going to be their strategy this time around unless they manage to make one a little belated, given that we are now done the prep phase.
Still got those impact grenades for the potential of an instantaneous rotation. We'll see if they choose to use that. But Penta clearly shaping up to attack onto the master bedroom, which is an excellent strategy if executed properly. It does come a lot down to what Evil Genius is going to do to deny it. If Canadian potentially C4s from below, he could do a lot of damage, possibly getting that Habana before she can open up any walls.
I wonder if we'll see that Montaigne strat that was working so effectively yesterday by Penta, or rather the day before against ENCE, in order to clear out Meeting Hall. Not really necessary on this site. You can see that they will pressure Meeting though, speaking of which. Jonas sits at the top of the laundry stairs, managed to come in and take control of the eastern end of the main floor. But that Meeting Hall is going to be a big concern for them. They have both the Mira as well as NVK down from below, and Canadian in the basement knows Jonas is there. Instead of pressuring him, he's just going to wait. Yesterday, a bit of impatience from Canadian led to him being taken down early. The leadoff kill goes to him, though, as a good distraction, a peek from NVK. He'll lose some health, but the Zofia of Jonas on stairs, punished for it.
Nice kill there from Necrox, eliminating Fabian, and now it's a 3-on-5. As Gogo pushes his way into Generator, he's going to contest this smoke on the top of white stairs, runs out of ammo, pulls out the nade, allowing a down from Young, but it's not enough as Tengu refrags and Goga finishes off that smoke. C4 from below, and NVK with the follow-up, BC with the finisher, and Evil Geniuses will take the first round of Oregon.
Unbelievable that Necrox manages to make it out of that alive. He should have just waited, the patience. Goga and him just trading back and forth, unable to really find anything. Canadian is there to ensure that the rest of the team is pulling through. BC just had to come in and clean up, and that was it. So a successful defense upstairs, and now we're going to see a basement hold for Penta, which is the site that we usually see things start off. When I say usually, it's not as much of a definitive, but typically the favored site for most teams. With the newly announced operator bans today, maybe we might be seeing more as a smoke and a Mira pivotal down there.
You know, there's been a lot of heated discussion on the operator ban phase. And
I'm excited.
It's definitely going to be an interesting feature. A lot more to analyze, that's for sure, and a lot more for the coaches to do. Now, I was going to say on that last round that seeing Eunice at the top of the main lobby stairs, or the bottom half of the main lobby stairs rather, was actually kind of exciting. It was an interesting take on clearing out the roamers, but he got outplayed by Canadian using that heartbeat detector. Being ever vigilant, expecting what is completely unexpected, and then collaborating with your teammate NVK in Meeting Hall to actually get the kill. So very well done from Evil Geniuses. That actually completely dealt with the roam clear from Penta Sports, which is a big contributing factor as to why they lost that round.
I really wish we had seen what happened to Fabian. I believe as the Ying, he was playing the big window. He got taken out very early. So you lose a Zofia and a Ying, two of the newer operators to this game, but both with very specific goals in mind. That Ying is oftentimes the cornerstone of most attacks now. The ability just to have smokes is huge, but also to blind everybody in a 40-mile radius is extremely powerful too. And as teams are learning the potential of the concussive grenades from the lifeline, we've seen Zofia's stock rise. In fact, she's been one of the most played operators on attack thus far. It did look like Fabian was going to get spotted inside of Kitchen. There's some explosives from above, so Canadian will now invest on that second floor where he sees a castle plan.
Very interesting castle setup there from Penta. Canadian gets Eunice. Can he get a second? No. Goga shuts him down and goes for the rotation. No C4 preemptively set up, and Penta has got that rotation ready to go for Goga as he moves back down into the site. A decent roam from Penta. It's important, though, that Evil Geniuses was able to get the Bandit, because that means Hibana could potentially open up the mirror windows in the actual site.
Mira playing in back tower, trying to shoot out what could be a rotation inside of Attic. There was a drone up from Young, waiting to see if the Mira is going to peek. She's just behind the mattress.
Oh.
Young narrowly misses her head. Ooh, and that's a shot that you know he's going to kick himself over. Instead, he'll apply pressure on the window. Now, even if he were to open it up, a very simple response from Amira would be that C4. Usually could claim a victim if at close enough range. But they have managed to isolate Chate, or my apologies, Penguin. Been swapping roles an awful lot recently. They've been looking very comfortable doing so. They're going to ignore the Mira, though, and every single member of EG, realizing with only 60 seconds, they have to start to actually begin to push the site. They're going to opt to go for the main area of the launch. That's bomb site number A. They buck away at the wall. One of the reinforcements there will deny some line of sight from above unless the X-Caros are used to open it up, which it sure sounds like is the case. Necrox on the bottom of the stairs as you hear Capitao doing his job to be able to close them off. Fabian fires the common spots. Young's fire arrow takes out Goga. What is he doing? And they're going to go for the plant. Necrox amidst the smoke, completely covered right now, and it's going to be Young trying to keep them alive. 7 seconds. Can he get the plant? He does! And you now see Fabian getting lit up himself, and EG just needs to hang on. Will have to be a masterful take from Penta. And Pengu's so far off site, doesn't have the speed advantage to him. What a shot as NBK and Young go down, and now an advantage for Penta as they were staring down the barrel of defeat. Fabian with the rotate hole opened up, and Attic BC eliminates Shate, and they're gonna wait. That's a double from the Buck. It's all up to Fabian. The Legion, who you had seen trying to get back to fight, miles away, 2-0 EG.
BC has been absolutely on fire for this match, and a completely unexpected decisive advantage in terms of rounds 1 for Evil Geniuses. Only 2 rounds for Penta. 2 maps in. That's just unheard of.
This looks like so far it's the best match that we've seen EG play the last 5 days. And if that belief, you speak to a number of teams, they will tell you, as I mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, that when they were known as Continuum, they were a team that would get more comfortable. They'd find their groove and they would continue on and adapt and change and get better and play better against their opponents. I think we saw a bit of a step back yesterday. Rogue was a very formidable challenge and really brought the heat to them. We came within 1 round of a 2-0 for Rogue, but EG was able to stick that landing, and now they are here in the finals. For Penta, a shaky start. They look like they are being completely overwhelmed. They will not run a Montaigne on attack as we had seen yesterday. They will opt for a bit more standard composition, probably because you don't want to be taking those gambles when you're already down on your own map.
You know, Evil Geniuses, historically, they're a team, as you said earlier, who gets a little bit more warmed up the later they go into a match with any other team. And it takes them time to get accelerated and get ready and get prepped. But here we're clearly seeing, I think, throughout this entire tournament, Evil Geniuses has been warming up over the course of the whole event. It seemed like at the beginning they were a little lackluster and out of practice. That was the image that Evil Geniuses was giving off. And then suddenly we see them here in the finals after beating Rogue, and none of that is present. Evil Geniuses looking extremely strong. On the other hand, Penta inconceivably struggling against Evil Geniuses. A C4 from Canadian all the way downstairs in the site. Well placed to eliminate Eunice. Now that's both teams who have not had their Zofia when executing onto the site.
Zofia's biggest strength with the ability to disrupt and concuss the defenders usually will allow a kill. You can push inside from another attacker and have a proper entry, such as a 3-speed. You can have IQ fulfill that role. You can have a Hibana or an Ashe. Not really we'd see that from Capitao because his gadget far too powerful to potentially lose in that kind of push. Zofia enables the rest of the attacking team to have a freer push onto the site or onto a roamer. That is taken away now from PENTA.
PENTA has cleared out the west side entirely, and there aren't very many anchors, interestingly, from Evil Geniuses. They're putting a lot of presence into the meeting hall. And as Canadian pushes up aggressively, that's just giving away kills, as Pengu is not the sort of person to get caught off guard in that circumstance. But the push from Fabian using his Candelas wisely eliminates MVK and BC, who gets taken down by Shate. Necrox refrags onto Goga. There's still life as Necrox gets 2. Pengu goes down, and Evil Geniuses not giving up quite yet. The attack has somehow shifted over to the supply room, the north side of the building. The shotgun push from Young misses the blast, and Fabian gets his second. Young goes down. It's all up to Necrox to get a 4K in order to win this round. He has 50 seconds to delay. Fabian all the way in the sight, sees Necrox, goes for a spray, misses the shots, and Necrox will get the down. 1 HP now for the castle, and as Shate is planting the diffuser, he's not going to be aware. That will prompt him. Shate expecting to push, wins the fight, and PENTA win their first round on Oregon.
That was a very good meeting hall clear from PENTA. You absolutely have to give them credit for that. You're able to get inside of sight. The biggest advantage that they had came from the Ying. They'd lost earlier on their previous attack. Once they blinded NVK, he was the one who was going to be stopping them as they pushed in from kitchen. But he had to fall back, and then the rest of them unable to cover. PENTA just stormed right in.
Now, defense of the top floor from PENTA. And we are seeing, interestingly, a blitz coming from Evil Geniuses. Young did not see a lot of success on blitz last time he brought him in the previous matches. Instead opting to use Blackbeard for the most part in this match, but it could work for him. I mean, if you look really far back to Young as a player, historically, he was one of the best shield players in all of North America. People absolutely feared him. You can ask any old age player from NA, they'll tell you the same. So, potential for that to work in EG's favor, but still kind of a risk. And the sort of risk that you can draw a parallel between the one that PENTA took in the previous map with those Montaigne picks.
10 seconds remaining.
Pretty crazy to think that a basement defense of EG fell apart so much faster, but they looked great on and upstairs inside of dorms. Usually it's the other way around. Teams will typically or traditionally win laundry room downstairs and then fail to hold up top. Some teams, of course, do differ, but that is typically or traditionally what we see.
Oregon a very dynamic map overall, though, and you can make it work on either side. I mean, the way that Evil Geniuses almost made that round work was the previous round, that is. They got very aggressive, and it almost worked out for them, but I'd say unquestionably too aggressive as they lost the round. And PENTA, not a team to trifle with, that's for sure. Spray's coming through the window from Canadian. I don't know if he understands how close he was. Nope. In fact, Pengu was behind a reinforced barricade, so it would not have mattered.
One thing that we saw yesterday from Canadian was that there were a couple rounds where he would set his team at a severe disadvantage by getting too aggressive. A specific time on console where he jumped out of a window as Pulse. He had firm control underneath sight. He could have very easily been able to stay there and deny a plant. That is not the case. That's exactly what he did last round, though. He got a little too aggressive.
All of EG almost is setting up for this west window take, but Pengu sneaking up on the window itself. I don't think that Evil Geniuses will expect this. Necrox might drone it out, though. As Pengu rotates back to sight, he will be plenty safe. A good call there from Pengu, not trying to get too aggressive.
Bomb located by attacker.
I'd seen earlier on that Shate was down by a grenade. He gets picked back up by Fabian. They'll double up now on White Stairs. Another grenade goes in, will take health away from both Fabian as well as Shate. A very aggressive push inside. No smoke grenades to stop them. And the smoke of Pengu manages to hit the shield of Young, who takes him down before Jonas refrags. That's a draw. But look at PENTA. They own that kill feed now. 2 for Jonas and Fabian adding to BC. All up to Necrox and MVK, but Necrox, who's having a wonderful day, takes out 1 before getting eliminated. Jonas, 3 kills for himself. Fabian answers that, and PENTA repels a strong push from EG we're all tied up.
EG relying a lot on Young pushing into Big Kid's dorms. I like the idea. The strategy looked like it was executed well. They baited out those gas canisters from the smoke very early on. But overall, just a good response from PENTA is all it takes to deny that. Plus, we still had roamers on PENTA. They could have potentially done damage from behind. They certainly dealt with NVK from below. Overall, a pretty, I would say, decisive win for PENTA on that defense.
An operator who I think we are still trying to figure out her place inside of the meta at this high level is Dokkaebi. She will emerge for the first time in this matchup in the hands of Fabian, who is having a very good game in comparison to map number 1. Dokkaebi, an operator whose device used more as an annoyance, but can also be used at the very end of a round to know where the push is going to come from the defenders, or if your diffuser is down, where the remaining defenders are who have to come and defuse, or you can even use it for clearing out the offsite players. It has some versatility to it. Of course, don't forget the fact that you can also grab the cell phones of the defending operators and take control of their cameras. But I think at this level, that part of her gadget, not all that useful.
Honestly, not useful at all, unless you've got a very skilled Valkyrie on the other team who has managed to elude both the IQ and just the eyes of the rest of the attackers. Doesn't happen very often, let's be honest. Now, this is a much more even contest on Oregon than what we saw on Clubhouse. PENTA have won 2 in a row now, and Evil Genius is starting to struggle a little bit here as they go into the defense of the top floor. We do have roamers downstairs, BC in the bathroom. It's going to be putting up some mirror windows that face towards the kitchen. Meanwhile, PENTA kind of unsure where they want to attack from. It seems like they're setting up to execute a similar strategy from what we saw from EG last round, but that didn't work at all.
Fabian's first move when he was playing Ying 2 rounds ago was to take control of the bathroom, or showers there. He'll do the same thing this time around. He knows that the pulse of Canadian isn't too far off. Spots him as he shoots out his drone just inside of kitchen. The telltale sign of the Scorpion as Canadian moves, and Fabian changing weapons will miss him. The pulse has a heartbeat sensor. Fabian lights him up, downs him. A good pinch from Jonas. They'll finish off Canadian. But there is still NVK inside a kitchen. BC eliminates Fabian, and now you can see a double for BC. NVK gets in on the action. And there's only 2 left. Young eliminating Shate. Pengu out to lunch. He will have a lot of work ahead of him. He's at full health though. BC and NVK just right now facing the prospect of any shot to any part of their body down. They don't need to go frag chasing. They can just execute their defense the exact same way. But imagine that the pulse, while the intel gathering is gone, is detrimental to the team. The rest of them have 1 minute and 20 left to try to determine Pengu's location and just set up for a trade. That's it.
If there's any player you want to have in a 1-on-4 for PENTA, it's probably Pengu. BC's going to be in a nasty little spot here, waiting for the aggression, though, from the Habana, who will hit that Ella charge, the Gersmont, forcing her into the bathroom stalls. Now Pengu coming around, not going to check this angle from BC, and will die as a result. Evil Geniuses, match point for the second time, or not.
3-2 in favor of EG.
Rather 3-2, correction, thank you.
It happens.
You know what it was? I wrote down the score before the round was actually over.
I mean, when they get 4 kills in a row and it's Pengu in a 1v4.
And that's just it. PENTA with an amazing execution onto the site. And they did, or excuse me, an amazingly bad execution onto the site. Evil Geniuses with a fantastic defense holding it down. So what did we see there from PENTA? Pretty much about the same that we saw from Evil Geniuses. They were trying to come in through that west window, and when they went downstairs to clear out the roamers, they had initial success eliminating Canadian, and that's a lot of information as well as utility done with, but there wasn't more. Didn't cascade, and in fact got responded onto by BC, who again, fantastic match so far for him.
Cafe Dostoevsky is map number 3. This is a map that PENTA doesn't play. So, with EG being able to take the fight to Rogue on it yesterday, some credit goes out to their NA counterparts and warming them up for it for today's match. I would imagine that PENTA's not going to be going into it blind, but I know that both FaZe and EG, when playing on Skyscraper, neither of them particularly had any strats available. They were just trying to learn and adapt. All it ended up coming down to was one attacking round. If PENTA fails to win Oregon, could end up being the end for them.
Attackers have recovered their
They're going to be executing the same roam that they had last time. They defended the basement. Castle barricades at the top of White Stairs to just try and prompt PENTA Sports to that aggression. Didn't work out as well as it could have last time. But let's see if it works for them this time. The rotation is very likely to be cut off from Evil Geniuses this time. I mean, you're not going to be able to jump out that generator window. And here you see Canadian putting down that Claymore outside just that very window. If Goga goes for the rotation that he did last time, he will be probably killed. There's potential for him to shoot it, though, in midair. We've seen that actually a lot at the Invitational.
Young is droning himself in and just going for broke. He'll head straight upstairs and just charges onward. You see there's under fire at the moment. You see there's two members of the defense right around. There's a Castle up top as well as an Ella. He'll use one smoke and that'll cut the Ella off, and he will go for just a pure engagement, but not expecting the mine. What a good read from Jonas to take down Young. That was a big gamble. It won't pay off, but NVK inexplicably right behind him as Canadian will now cut up and try to take down the castle. They'll light in, and a great clear from EG as they are an advantage of one right now.
So the roaming not really working out for Penta Sports. They still have players inside a meeting in tower, which means there's only one anchor. Shate is going to get lit up on the main stairs. He is the singular anchor right now for Penta. If Evil Geniuses reads this and goes for a side execution, they will have a wonderful time, I'm sure. He still has 3 gas canisters, so there's a lot of potential on him to stall out the round. Canadian very cautiously moving his way into classroom main lobby area.
And they're just going to wait. They still haven't managed to get the hatch, nor put as much pressure on meeting as they need to. They could simply just storm Shate at this point. This is the same angle that you saw Pengu play a couple seasons ago, where he was able to kill almost all of the team at the time, which was known as Font Energy. They get the hatch finally. Don't have any smokes available for them, though. That was Young's job. He'd used one earlier on. Oh, Shate gets downed as they hit him with one of the mines. They don't know he's down. A grenade goes in, and it misses its target. Another one down. Shate somehow not being killed by these grenades. Pengu will go down to push him, and Fabian patrols the bottom of the stairs. Smoke brought back to life as Penta at least in a position to stop this push. And they will begin with Pengu eliminating BC. EG in a tough spot as they will need to funnel in through points that Penta is expecting. Only 15 seconds. They have lots of denial available to them. They do not bother to get Canadian up. They will just simply dive down themselves. NVK can't connect. It's going to be all on Canadian, who uses Withstand to give 1 health for Zofia, but Penta wins a round that they may not have deserved. A great hold, but EG stalling out in the final minutes.
Certainly a lackluster attack there from Evil Geniuses. They had all the control they needed. They had the man advantage. They even got the down onto Shate. One more of those impact grenades through the mirror window would have probably secured the round overall. But good coordination from Penta, able to pick up the teammate. Pengu specifically downing 2 people in classroom. That's an angle you should lose 9 times out of 10. Well done to him on that mirror.
There was a lot of hesitation. They didn't know that they had downed Shate. So you found yourselves in a position where if they had a known, point indicators had been on at that point, or if they'd had a drone available to them, they'd known that the smoke was down inside a closet, you could have 1 drop the hatch, 1 cover at the bottom of the stairs, and at that point, you now have pretty good control. You're able to get a diffuser off, and if somebody pushes you from the laundry room just to the side, you can potentially get them in a crossfire. You still waited for Penta to get back on site, seeing that they had to go through the hatches inside a meeting hall, which EG had ignored on attack. We're all tied up. This has been a very close match. Both teams somewhat comfortable on Oregon, though EG has been trending downward on this map as a whole.
5 seconds remaining.
Evil Genius is going to be prioritizing that meeting hall control, as is so often seen. Not extending themselves as far as the west side of the building, which is what Penta has been doing this entire time. Shate sees that there's 2 soft walls here in construction, going to go for the spray. That'll cut off a lot of rotation, specifically of Young, but since Shate did not hold the angle, Young will get back safe, not even losing a point of HP. Shate has a lot of work he can do here, though. Another rotation from Evil Geniuses, despite the hole in this construction wall, and Shate gonna look up towards Meeting Hall, almost getting a headshot.
3 opportunities to put Evil Geniuses at a very early deficit due to their inability to reinforce inside of box. But no, Shate unable to capitalize on a single one of them. they're still trying to figure out meeting hall. You see, they've been able to get the mirror window and open up one of the walls. Necrox smartly falls off as Shate is moved from construction just to rear stage. Fabian eliminating NVK. That was the bandit playing by the mirror window inside a meeting. Penta's looked very, very good and very comfortable at being able to dissolve this beachhead that EG has set up inside of meeting itself.
Fabian gets Necrox using the opening of the mirror window. Great job from him to open it up earlier, allowing that kill to happen. Second one for Penta, or third total, as Shate gets BC. And Evil Genius is now in a 2-on-5, not looking like they have a good chance here. Canadian going up the stairs, pre-fires from Penta, and Pengu will get that kill. Young getting one on the flank though. He still has a lot of time to delay, but he's a great operator to do so. As he attempts this ace clutch. Moving back into box, here come the gas canisters to cut the rotation off. Pengu not gonna be breathing that in for some reason. But he's gonna have to deal with the post plant now. A push from Pengu, ill-advised. Young only needs to find 3 more, and because of that, Penta will get much more conservative. Firebolt's going to cut off rotation. Looking onto the drop, eating a lot of flames, and Young put onto half HP. He's still got a chance to win this round, but he's got to do it in the next couple seconds. It doesn't look likely as Young gets fully blind, and Fabian from behind, hearing that call from his teammate, will secure the kill. Penta put it on to match point.
Opening kill and closing kill, as well as a third in between. Team captain leading by example. Penta takes their first lead of this map, and they do it on match point. Pretty remarkable. So round number 8. We see overtime between the two of them. EG has looked good when attacking upstairs. That's where Penta has to go. They'll bring a Zofia and a Capitao. Young, who had gone as a blitz previously, was taken out a little early on last time that they had to attack the basement. He'll go with the Capitao, which was a strategy in which worked quite successfully.
Penta had success, as you said, on this site last time they went here. Just going to try and delay as much time, I'm sure. Now, the thing is, the reason they had success here is Evil Geniuses went for a kind of a brash strategy. They tried to push in through nothing but the main west window directly into the A-bomb site, which is a huge risk. As you said, the blitz from Young not able to do as much work as they expected when they pushed into Big Kid Storms.
10 seconds left.
Reinforcements going up inside of Attic. Curious to know if there will be a rotate put in at any point. Goga had played in the back tower. He'll go back up there as well as Shate sticking it inside of Attic. He'll have that open window just next to him, over top of the hatch, to be able to see if anybody goes for a rappel. That's also an important position because it deprives the attacking team of an ability to hang off of those windows just by kids' dorms. You can't successfully pressure kids if there's somebody holding that window because they will see. You'll also have somebody up inside of tower who will have a much better angle as well.
That's Goga playing the Ella. NVK going to see him though, so Evil Genius is going to be aware of that roam deep inside of tower. Young pushing into bathroom, looking to clear the main hallway. Last time they attacked this site, they didn't clear out these roamers downstairs, and it cost them dearly. So they're going to put a lot of emphasis on it this go around. Cafeteria control in favor of Evil Geniuses. Grenades start coming out to clear the utility. Fabian still has plenty of goo mines. He's just going to have to wait for them to regenerate. Falling back, in fact, to the main lobby, which NVK is going to catch 2 off guard, but only get 1. No, he can't get the second. Fabian with the refrag, though he is on very low HP.
Torn apart as he tries to retake kitchen. That's efficient. They've used about half of the round. They know that most of the pressure off-site is gone, but Goga now will have to retreat very wisely, get back up to the confines of the actual bomb sites themselves. You've lost 2 roamers, not always a wise opportunity for another member to play that far away, in case the attackers decide to rush brazenly. We've seen that a couple times, and it has overwhelmed the defense. BC, who's having a heck of a round, he'll take out Shate from below. Very little health for him as the rest of EG lines up at the bottom of White Stairs. That's where Goga is now pushed to after he was in the main lobby, gone up the main stairwell. Barbed wire behind him will be destroyed. That would have been an audio cue that somebody was coming, and they trade. BC eliminated though. What a round from the Buck to carry his team. 1v3 for Pengu, a situation where we've seen that clutch factor can go quite far. And he will have to do it if he wants to avoid overtime. Some shots will rattle through the big window as he sits just underneath it. He'll go out for a kill into the Capitao. He'll be rewarded, but they know his position, and almost a crossfire established just as you wait for Necrox to get into sight. Instead, Pengu will push up. It's Canadian who's trying to get a cover. Necrox gets off the defuse, and overtime awaits us for Oregon.
What an attack from Evil Geniuses, clearing out those roamers downstairs, putting it on to a 2-on-4, just the anchors alive. Good flank from NVK coming from the meeting hall. Didn't look like Penta was expecting that.
Evil Geniuses will get an opportunity to defend twice. They have looked very good upstairs. That's where they will go. Kids' dorms, where they've been very successful. They have not had the same fortunes in the basement. So if they're able to win this and then potentially take the downstairs basement, this could swing in favor of them. For Penta, this is going to be a very tough task. Fabian right now, an excellent job leading from example. Typically looks quite comfortable on this map. He's taking more of a fragging role than he does typically support. That's paying off for his team.
That is kind of interesting when you have your IGL top fragging. It happens, it has happened, and Canadian's another example of people who tend to do that. It's a good job from Fabian to be able to establish that dominance. Evil Genius is going to be holding the site similar to how we saw Penta go about it. The question is, will they put more emphasis on the meeting room, which is a big priority? Evil Genius is able to exploit that last round.
Penta's been very good at clearing out that meeting hall. So for me, if I'm EG, I don't know how much resources I'm going to put inside of that meeting hall. But I mean,
not inside of it, surely, but you have to wait for people to push through it.
That is correct. Jonas, back tower, rear stage. He comes in, he'll shoot at some of the soft wall. There's nobody on the other side of it within range of his crosshairs.
And VK going to be that person, that form of utility in a way, to try and dissuade the attackers, if nothing else, from pushing from tower into meeting hall. Goga gonna catch him on the drone. Nothing else though. Penta is just inside of tower. As they're taking this nice and slow. They will clear attic and by proxy, eventually, surely, the meeting hall.
Fabian gets leadoff kill onto the Canadian. The Pulse had been integral in defending this site previously. And that'll be, I believe, the 9th or 10th kill for the captain of Penta.
He's been having a fantastic match, as has BC on Evil Geniuses. But Shate lit up to 1 bullet's worth of HP from almost every gun at most ranges. So he's going to be in a bad spot. He's still got a 3-speed Ash to aid him, but it's not nearly as much as 100 HP. Clearing into the basement. NVK going to see that drone, and instead of trying to fight it, just going to fall back to main lobby. But surely Penta will expect said rotation. In fact, no, there's no one watching the main lobby as NVK goes for run out and will get the kill. What a job there from NVK, seeing the hole and seizing it. A second from behind. Shate goes down. Gonna get a third. Gets lit up inside Armory. Elsewhere, lots of frags going down for both teams, and it evens out into a 3-on-2. Penta have control over Generator. The diffuser is in the hands of Pengu, though, repelling on the B windows. Here comes the push from the Capitao, and BC's not expecting it. The main hallway uncovered. Necrox will refrag it, leaving Pengu now in a 1-on-2, but he's inside of B. Necrox gets the kill, and Evil Geniuses go up 5-4. What a hold there from EG.
I feel like overall, though NVK's flank was so important to that team, Necrox won that round for them. He has looked otherworldly the last 2 days. Typically his contribution to the team is not always reflected on the scoreboard, but yesterday and today are definitely different. He tweeted out on the very first day of quarterfinals that he wasn't particularly impressed with his own play, even though the rest of the team was able to eliminate FaZe, and I think he's learned from that and played quite well recently. So now Penta will go downstairs, and once again, match point for Evil Geniuses.
Now the attack onto the downstairs is a tricky thing to figure. Evil Geniuses has had mixed success here so far. A couple losses, a couple wins. And I think the main reason that they've been losing is because they're unable to follow through. And then they get caught up on that mirror window, they always seem to struggle. You saw they executed a nice grenade strategy where they were throwing it through a potential impact hole, well, the impact hole that was made. But it looked like the grenades didn't go far enough as they kind of hit a little bit low and landed on the wrong side of the mirror window, resulting in a decisive victory for PENTA last time they went here. Now, PENTA has also been using their roamers to great effect. On the west side specifically, Evil Geniuses haven't cleared it out fully without losing anyone yet.
One thing that we've seen EG use their operators to quite well is establishing crossfires upstairs. They've been very quick to be able to pinch roamers, often maybe losing one, but still getting an advantage in terms of numbers. Shate had run out as a smoke, but there's nobody there at all. He went down in construction. He's going to play just inside of blue tarps.
So clear here for EG. Opening up the junk tower doorway, BC going to give his position away. Almost saw a kill there from Fabian, but luckily for BC, he's playing very passively, expecting the peak to come out. Rotation hole, so he can potentially move into cafeteria, but doesn't look like the vault prompt is there. He's going to instead adjust to this long angle into kitchen. Now, PENTA has actually fully fallen off the roam now. They're just inside of meeting hall and downstairs, which is not really a roam on this site. You need to be able to establish that control early on and keep it as a defensive team to have any chance in the later end of the round.
Drone activated.
Necrox had droned BC, and Fabian very smartly had pulled back and will join Shate down. Now, one thing that Pengu played very well last time on this site was those back stairs. He's still situated up there, and it doesn't look like EG has used any real opportunity to discover the drones. BC's drone in particular will spot the Ella. Canadian gets lead off onto Goga. Goga's had a bad day so far and may not have an opportunity to redeem himself on this map, but Jonas positioned as Canadian pushes in. That is a good trade for them as PENTA able to get that refrag.
You can see that PENTA is anchored very decisively on those tower stairs, and Evil Geniuses may be putting a little bit too much focus onto that, as they could potentially just push into the site. They don't have the impacts from Canadian anymore, so they're going to have to use NVK's Ash charges to open up the hole that they so very desperately want on that mirror window. Young preps the fire bolts. Hopefully this time one will go into the mirror window to disable it, and here comes the push from EG.
Looks like BC primed with one of those grenades that have been so good. Area towards the bomb site denied. Shate just misses that frag grenade and uses his last toxic babe. Necrox breathing it in, will try to get out of there in time, but cannot. He gets felled on the stairs, but not finished off. Young just waiting to see, but Jonas, his second kill. That's Young down as he had pushed in. Plant going off will give away the position. They're gonna hope that NVK can cover. He'll get one. NVK manages to stick it, and BC gets Diffuser down as BC takes out Fabian before Pengu eliminates NVK. It's 2-2, and Necrox has been downed on the stairs, as well as Shate, who's been downed as well. So we'll come down to the Mira battling against the Buck. On the line here is the potential for EG to be able to go to series point. You can hear the Mira coming down, but PENTA will win this one. BC falls, Pengu plays that smart, and we will have an 11th round.
Nice try there from Evil Geniuses. Mostly due to a well-placed gas canister, they will lose that round. Necrox narrowly not avoiding that death. If he had been able to get out safely and plant the diffuser at a later part of the round, he would have had a better round overall for EG.
The top floor is locked for Evil Geniuses. They will need to go down to the basement for the third time this match. The previous two times they were unsuccessful. So this could be PENTA tying up the series if the trend line holds. For EG, a couple notable changes. A Rook and a Mute come out. EG had put a lot of investment inside of the meeting hall hold, and PENTA methodically cut it off every single time. They were able to come in and sweep through them. Almost first time, every time, by eliminating the mirror window and then taking NVK down, who was playing at it inside of pantry by the kitchen. Instead, I will imagine they'll keep more bodies on site itself. They won't be bringing a castle. NVK bringing the ACOG of Rook, able to provide long-range assistance. So the roaming Rook is something interesting that we see from time to time. I would be hard-pressed to imagine NVK actually roaming himself.
It's likely that Evil Geniuses is probably going to be much more passive in this round. Given the way that their aggression did not favor them, Last time they attempted to push into Penta. Penta very good at gauging aggression from the other team and simply waiting out the round or going in with their own aggression should the round call for it.
So our final round, no matter what, will EG prevail and put themselves one map away from keeping the World Championship on North American soil, or will Penta tie it up? And if Penta does tie it up, that means we will be guaranteed bank as our fourth map, as no team will be able to win it out 3-0.
Very slow clear here from Penta. They just want to make sure that they don't have to deal with any flanks later in the round. And because there's no basement on the west side, that's pretty easy. Necrox the first kill of the round, though. Goga goes down. Nice headshot there on the roam.
That's the Capitao gone.
So big.
That is probably your most important pick of these 5 operators because there's no smoke now and no isolation. Still though, Pengu, arguably the second most important, is left up. If you had taken out the Hibana, then that would mean the hatches would be safe. That would have been depriving them of the control upstairs inside of main lobby.
Flashbangs going into bathroom. There are no defenders here, but Penta just trying to be as sure as possible. The problem is, though, that's a huge waste of utility from Penta. A lot of flashbangs, and I think I just saw that all of the lifelines from Eunice are used. I'm not sure how they could have used them so early in the round. It has me a little bit perplexed. Last flashbang there from Pengu as he pushes down the main stairs. A run out from NVK over by Tower. He's looking for any more frags he can get, and that aggression is clearly not stemmed for EG.
They're still making very good time. Penta's been able to get onto site quite quickly as one smoke is expended from Young. That'll be down. It won't cut off the push from the stairs, but will stop them from being able to drop through the hatch. You see that they are lined up at the bottom. This is typically when your Capitao would be able to get those smokes down and allow your team to push relatively unhindered. Necrox sees the Hibana of Pengu, gets a shot off, and will give his position away as he's joined by Jonas. They are at either doorways. This is what we say when we say establishing a crossfire. Necrox still just going to wait. There was a mute jammer on that wall, and there will be no way for a drone to be able to get in from that angle to discover him. One of the impacts from Zofia go off downstairs, and Penta looks like they're ready to drop. But still, as they hit the barbed wire at the bottom of white, EG holds an advantage. Shate jumps up on top of Laundry. A smoke hits him perfectly. He'll get about half of his health taken off. He'll have to pull back. Only 20 seconds left. Necrox inching up, so close. One goes down. Pengu doesn't look, sees the mute. Necrox and Canadian, it's 5-2 for EG. And Necrox still uncontested. EG, one map away from the championship.
Well played retake there from Evil Geniuses. Gotta give a lot of props to Necrox clearing back into Meeting Hall. Interesting that Penta established that control and then forfeited it later in the round. They could have potentially just held that push from the flank and had a much better time when actually executing onto the site. Though some amazingly good smoke play as well from Evil Geniuses. We'll say no to that. Necrox definitely gonna be the MVP for that round.
Now, with this being a best of 5, that means that we take a break every 2 maps. So the teams will huddle, talk amongst themselves, and we will let our experts dissect what we just saw. A stunning lead right now of 2 maps for Evil Geniuses as we head to Cafe for map number 3. Matt?